So welcome to session 2 of week 1, and in our last session we looked at what a product manager actually does, and today we are going to zoom out to understand who the product manager works with and why those relationships define whether a product succeeds or fails. Yes, today is going to be an interesting day. So by the end of this session you know how to navigate engineering, design and marketing as a product manager. Yes, and why the product manager is often called the glue of the team. Okay, so here is what we will cover across 6 sections today. We will start by identifying who the stakeholders are, the people whose lives intersect with your product every day. Then we'll look at how cross-functional teams work together, and we'll go deeper on 3 critical relationships: the product manager and engineering, product manager and design, and finally product manager and marketing. We will close by pulling it all together. Yes, so each section is short and focused. This is done in such a way that you'll be able to apply these ideas immediately. Yes, so let's start with a simple question. What is a stakeholder? Yes, so a stakeholder is anyone who cares about your product or is affected by it. Yes, anybody at all who cares about your product or is affected by it. So think of it like this: if you were building a food delivery app, the stakeholders wouldn't just be the people who order the food. Yes, there would also be restaurants, the delivery riders, your company CEO, and even the people writing the code. Yes, so everyone who has something to do, whether to gain or lose from your product, that is a stakeholder. Simple as that. So now let's meet the 6 common ones you work with as a product manager. First of all is the engineering. These are the builders. Yes, so these are the developers and engineers who actually write the code and build the product. Think of them as the construction workers, and you are the architect. You decide what the building should look like and why it should look like that. Yes, and they will figure how to actually build it. Yes, so your job is to explain to them thoroughly what needs to be built. Yes, so that they never guess. Do you understand? Yes, that is engineering. We move on to design and UX, the look and feel people. Yes, the UX stands for user experience. This team makes sure the product is easy and pleasant to use. Yes, so if engineering builds the car, design makes sure the steering wheel is in the right place to use. Do you understand? It's in the right place, and the dashboard also makes sense. That is the UX for you. So you work with them to make sure the product doesn't just work but also feels good to use. Exactly. So we move on to marketing. They are the megaphones. Yes, the megaphones. Yeah. So marketing's job is to tell the world your product exists and convince people to try it. Yes, so they can't do that well unless you, the product manager, tell them what the product does and who it's for, the target audience. Yes, so if you don't communicate clearly with marketing, they'll end up selling your product to the wrong people. So that is marketing for you. Then move on to leadership. They are also stakeholders. Yes, so the decision makers above you, those are the leadership. So these are the managers, the directors, or even founders who set big goals for the company. Yes, so they are not in the details of your product, but it is your job to keep them updated. Let me just say that. So they are not in the details of your product every day, but it is your job to keep them updated. So they only get to know what's going on well and what's blocked, the progress of the product, and what's next. Do you understand? So those are leadership. Then move on to customers. They are the most important stakeholders of all. The customers. These are the real people who use your product. And here is the thing though, customers are rarely in the room when decisions are being made. So that is exactly why the product manager exists. You are their voice. You are supposed to be talking for them. Yes, so every time you make a decision, you should be asking yourself, will this actually help this person using this product? Yes, And finally, data and analytics, the scoreboard. This team tracks numbers, yes. So they track how many people use a feature and where they dropped off. Also, they track what's working, yes. So what the customers want, what they have interest in. It is the job of the data analytics to find out how many people do that. Yes. So they give you the evidence to make good decisions instead of just guessing. So as a product manager, gut feelings isn't enough. It isn't enough. You need data to back you up. Yeah, that is why the data analytics team is there for you. So to bring it all together, as a product manager, you are not working alone. You are constantly talking to all 6 groups of people. Yes. So you are understanding their needs, sharing information across, and making sure everyone is building the same thing for the same exact reason. Yes. So we move on to our next slide, which is the cross-functional collaboration. So the diagram captures the product manager's position in a nutshell. So you are not above any of these teams. You are in the middle of them. So the engineering, design, marketing, leadership, and data all operate in parallel. Yes. So without a product manager connecting them, each team would optimize for its own goals and the product will fall apart. Yes. So your job is to make sure that everyone is moving in the same direction, working toward the same product outcome. Yes. So think of yourself as the hub of the wheel. So a car wheel. If the hub is weak, the wheel doesn't turn. And what happens? Accidents by occur. Yes. So next, we have the product manager versus engineering. So the product manager engineering relationship is the most important and often the most misunderstood in product management. So here is the key principle. The product manager decides what to build and why to build it, and then the engineering team comes up with how to build it. Yes. So you cross that line as a product manager and you lose the trust of your engineers fast. As a product manager, you write the user stories and requirements, you prioritize the backlog, you define acceptance criteria, and then you represent the customer's need. Yeah. While the engineering writes the code and estimates the effort. Yes. They raise technical constraints also. So as a product manager, you're not supposed to be figuring how to make the product, just the what and the why. So notice the VS we used on this slide, the versus. It doesn't mean you are against each other. It just means you each own different parts of the process. So the best product manager engineering partnerships are built on trust, clear communication, and mutual respect. You have to know your boundaries as a product manager while the engineers know theirs. So the engineers don't want to be told how to build it. Yes, they want to understand why they are building it, and they will take it from there, trust me. Yes. Next on our list is product managers versus design or UX. Right. So design and product are 2 sides of the same coin. The designer focuses on how the product feels, while the product manager focuses on what it achieves. Yes. So you would have the same goal, a product that works for the user. So as a product manager, you define the problem, you set the goals, and you decide which features to prioritize. Yes. So the designer translates these needs into visual solutions, including wireframes, prototypes, and even usability tests. Yes. So crucially, both of you actually advocate for the user. That shared mission is what makes your bond stronger. Your relationship is very, very powerful. The UX designer, or the design or UX, and the product manager, your bond is very powerful. So in this course, you get free hands-on experience with Figma. I'll take you through. You're going to get the industry standard tool for product manager designer collaboration. You won't need to be a designer, but understanding how designers work will make you a significantly better product manager. All right. So we move on to product manager versus marketing. So the marketing takes the product to the world. Yes. So your job as a product manager is to make sure they have everything they need to be effective in this action. Yes. The slide breaks the relationship into 4 areas: product positioning, launch planning, user feedback loop, and growth and retention. So with the product positioning, the marketing crafts the message, but you, the product manager, design what the product actually does and who it's for. Yes. So the marketing just crafts the message to be put across to users, while you are the one that is going to actually explain what the product does and who it's for, who it is supposed to target. You get this wrong, and marketing will be sending something customers don't recognize. Yes. So it is your role and responsibility as a product manager to be able to explain better, yes, what the marketing team needs to put across. Second is the launch planning. Marketing handles the campaigns and PR. Yes, they handle the noise and all that. But you own the launch timeline. You, the product manager, you own the launch timeline and feature readiness. You're supposed to make sure everything is on time and ready. Yes, so you need to be in sync weeks before the launch, because you are responsible for launching actually. Yes, so you need to be prepared. You have to take some weeks or time to prepare. All right, so move on to user feedback loop. Marketing brings data from campaigns, but you bring qualitative insight from users. Yes, they just bring feedback data, just the data from campaign, but you bring the actual qualitative insight from users. What the users think, you bring it. So together you get the full picture. They bring the statistics and you bring the actual information. Right, that is it for user feedback loop. We move on to growth and retention. Yes, so marketing drives acquisition. They acquire a lot, and you identify the in-product levers that keep users coming back. You are supposed to find out what interests the users and get them coming back to your product. So a product manager who understands marketing ships products that actually get used and not just built. Do you understand? So when you are a great product manager, you don't just build a product, but you also get people to actually use it. Yes, that is it for the product manager versus the marketing. Then we move on to how this all fits together. So we ask ourselves, how does all these features and these responsibilities and these links fit together? Yes, so the product manager is the glue actually. You don't manage the people you are working with, you only align them. Yes, so your job is to make sure every team understands the why behind every decision that is taken and is working towards the same goal. As if you leave the designers, you leave the engineers, you leave all these marketing people, they will end up finding a goal for themselves. Yes, they will be selfish about their needs and goals. But you, the product manager, have to make sure it is your job to make sure their minds are still set on one particular goal, that is to please the customers, to make a product that solves a problem. It is your role to keep them aligned. Yes. So with engineering, you define what to build to them, you clarify requirements and remove ambiguity. Yes. With design, you champion the user and balance desirability with business goals. Sorry. Yes. And with marketing, you share product context and align on positioning and launch timing. And with leadership, you report progress, escalate blockers, and advocate for your product strategy. Yes. So you remove the product manager from this picture and each becomes an island. Yes, that's the power of this role and the responsibility that comes with it. So key takeaways for this lecture. Let's recap the 6 things I want you to carry away from this session. Your item 13. The first is stakeholders are everyone with an interest in your product. These include engineering, design, marketing, leadership, and users. Second is the product manager does not manage people. The product manager rather aligns people around a shared goal, a shared interest. Yes, and represents the customer's voice. Third is engineering builds how. Please, it is very important. Engineering builds how, but you, the product manager, you just define the what and the why. That distinction is foundational. Take it serious and you'll be great. Fourth is design and product manager actually work together. Design and product manager work together. So you define the problem and the designer creates the solution. You both champion the user. You join heads and make sure the problem is solved. Fifth is marketing and product manager must be in sync on positioning. The launch timing and success metrics, you all have to keep each other updated. You have to be in sync. And the last but not least is the product manager is the hub. Yes. So without you connecting the teams, each groups actually work in isolation and miss the big picture. Yes. All right. I have some supplementary resources for you. Before we wrap up, here are 5 resources I would actually recommend. First is Ben Horowitz' essay, The Good Product Manager, Bad Product Manager. It's a short read from the early days of Silicon Valley product thinking and still holds up remarkably. Yes. Second is the Mind the Product blog. Is a community hub for product managers. Start with what exactly is a product manager piece. It actually helps. Third, you just search YouTube for Google's product manager interview prep series. It's publicly available and packed with practical insights. Yes, it's very helpful. Fourth is you sign up Figma for free. Yes, sign up for Figma for free. You don't need to design anything yet. Just explore the interface and I'll be with you in a short moment to learn something practical. And fifth is the product podcast from Product School. Yes, it's a great commute for you actually. Yeah. So links to all this will be posted in the WhatsApp groups after this session. Yes. All right. And that is a wrap on week 1. You've now completed both pre-recorded sessions. Give yourself credit. Whether you use MTN or Airtel, just give yourself credit. You've covered a lot of ground. What a product manager does, who they work with, and why those relationships matter. Yes, you've done well. But before week 2, please do 3 things. You submit your week 1 assignment. That is your personal product manager mission statement, minimum of 200 words, and then introduce yourself in the WhatsApp group and check the reading resources we are posting after this session. In week 2, we move into user research and problem definition. That is user interviews, personas, and how might we questions. Yes, and jobs to be done also. It's one of the most practically useful parts of this program actually. So see you then. My name is Mr. Kingsford Amponsa Donko, and I am your tutor for this product management course.